Well, team did as well. The men's basketball team played Duke earlier this week. Obviously, did not come away with the win. Got a chance to see the Duke phenomenal freshman in Cam Boozer. It's Sean Miller's first game, so obviously nobody's going to really knock him a lot because it is the Duke Blue Devils. But for those that have not seen much of Texas basketball coming into the season, what are some, not only just the expectations, but what are some playing styles you see of this team and some of the ways they can reach their fullest potential?
I like to kind of compare the two words. You got basketball players and you got hoopers.
Yeah.
And I think at some point, I don't think last year we saw hoopers for Texas. I think this year with Sean Miller's style of play, you're gonna see some hoopers out there. You saw it last year at Xavier. You saw it during his time at Arizona, and
yeah.
his first stint at Xavier as well. So I think eventually these guys are going to figure it out. They seem a little robotic, and Cam Boozer kind of has that impression on guys that you kind of don't know where to be, and you got to wall up against a guy like that who has the size, athletic ability to dribble and penetrate to the basket and shoot the ball from outside as well. So he is a monster. There's a reason that he's predicted as one of those top picks in the upcoming NBA draft.
Right.
But that's one team, and you can't build your identity off that one matchup. So eventually, Sean Miller is going to have his fingerprints all over this program, and you'll see guys like Swain and Jordan Pope and Tremar Marks and Trey Ori. You see these guys start to find their footing and be some hoopers. You might see some alley oops, and you might see guys coming up early in the shot clock and letting it ride because they feel that confidence that Sean Miller has given them throughout the length of a very long season. And tomorrow they play, not an opponent that doesn't have the fanciest name, they're not ranked, but these are the times where you can try to find some type of identity before you get into conference play in 2026 when you reach that January schedule.
And that was part of the question I was going to ask was it seemed like Duke just shut down Texas. I mean, really just unable to get any offense going. Are you just chalking that up to Sean Miller's first game plus the fact that it's Duke, or is there maybe a little bit more of a concern there in that regard?
I think it's more so Duke than it
Yeah.
is Sean Miller. I mean, that's just my opinion. But, I mean, Duke is one of those well-oiled machines. Any game they're in, you can't count them out. You almost don't need a head coach in the building when you're talking about Duke. That's just the vibe out there, at Camden. So you really hope that it's not, that's not how it's going to be for the duration of the season for Sean Miller. I think the other side of it is Sean Miller's first game, though. Don't want to put too much pressure on your guys. You give them a certain amount of set plays they're going to run. Otherwise, you let them have to go out there and hoop and play basketball. At the end of the day, you got to be a ball player.
Right.
On the floor because you have the athletic ability. You can shoot the rock. Guys like Kendall Weaver may not be a strong suit, but you put him out there to do what he does. He's a hustle man guy. He's your Marcus Smart. He's not going to shoot the lights out, but he's going to hustle. He's going to get rebounds. He's going to get putbacks. He's all of 6'1", maybe if that, but he's going in against guys like Boozer and grabbing offensive rebounds and making it tough on opposing teams. And I think right now that's all you really need until you can get guys going and finding out where their spots are and how long it's going to take you to get into your offensive set and defensively to your point, Patrick. At some point, you got to have an identity there as well. And what's it going to be? Are you going to be perimeter defenders or are you going to control the paint? Obviously, it depends on who you're playing, so you got to be versatile as a team. But I would say from Sean Miller's experience, dating, going back to DeAndre Ayton, he's a defensive-minded guy. He's going to control the paint. We saw that last year with Xavier. We saw it in that game against Texas, that first 4 games. So it's just it's going to be a challenge, nevertheless, though. So.
Absolutely. We got a chance to hear from Sean Miller about the center play against those Duke Blue Devils.
Tonight was actually the first game that either of them has played for us. They didn't participate for 3 straight weeks, and they didn't participate in either of our 2 close scrimmages. We're just thankful and happy that they are able to play tonight. So I know that part of our demise was their 9 turnovers. But, man, it's tough to go from sitting out in Lucina Traor's situation. He did not play last year for us at Xavier. He had a season-ending injury. So I think the last game that he played would have been against Arizona when he was at Long Beach State 2 tournaments ago. So it was just nice to have both of them out there. I think they gave us a physicality and an inside presence, but I also thought, like, tough to expect them to be a finished product. And I think some of the way we looked, the 9 turnovers between the two of them, it really hurt us. I felt good about our team's competitive spirit. I thought we played really hard. And what we didn't do, and I'm really surprised, is we played with no pace. And I think some of it is Duke, some of it is the first game. But, look, we want to play with a lot more pace and a lot more movement. 6 assists, 60 points, just the pace we played at, that's not what I hope we become.
LeVon, when you look at the rest of this non-conference schedule, I mean, you've got a few games that really pop out. Arizona State, obviously coming from the Big 12, great basketball conference. Virginia, the ACC, looking to become a great basketball conference again. And then UConn, 2 years removed from back-to-back titles. What do you make of this schedule, and what would be a realistic expectation for record-wise for the Longhorns to say, hey, we can build some confidence off this? Because, I mean, I wouldn't expect Texas to win all 3 of those games, but what would be realistic?
Well, I think because you get 1-2 of those games at home, and I think those are the ones to steal. Arizona State and Virginia, they're not like a blue blood programs when it comes to basketball, but they are Big 12 and ACC, and respect to the ACC, who's made a lot of noise in the last couple of years on the hardwood. So I think you got to show them that respect. But man, hey, you get a team at home.
Yeah.
Right before you get into conference play in the Moody Center in Austin, you're led by a new head coach.
They still have those balloons there?
The balloons? I haven't seen them. I seen them. I started covering this like midway through last season, but no, I haven't seen the balloons yet. They probably need to bring them back.
Because when I was watching Texas basketball and they'd play the Mountaineers when I was still in college, I just remember the Moody Center was always so interesting because the student section just waved around those like crazy balloons. I don't remember the actual, like they're the balloons that you can like make like a dog out of. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Those ones that you shape out.
You can like shape them.
Traditional circle balloons,
but they don't shape them. They just like wave them around, so it looks like the wavy guys outside the car dealerships. That's just what I remember Texas basketball being.
Listen, I grew up a UT fan. I know what you're talking about, but I haven't seen them yet since I've been here. So,
okay.
But now, I think the Moody Center is going to have to take a different type of identity this season as well. I mean, you got to be proud. One thing I can say about the fans at Moody, they show up, man. Good or bad, they show up. So, Sean Miller, new head coach, and I think you have to steal these 2 games, and you got to make things competitive on the road against UConn. I mean, I know it's UConn, but you can't just lay down. Like, you got to go out there and you got to try to come back to Austin with the win from the East Coast, and I think that sets them up pretty good as they get ready to go into conference play, starting with Mississippi State, and then you got a tough team coached by Rick Barnes, a former UT coach over at Tennessee. That's not they're no slouch. You know what they can do defensively, so you better find a way to put the ball through the net.
Absolutely. Before we let you go, you want to touch on the women's side because they are expected to be a factor in the national championship picture. They got a huge win, and by huge, I mean they won by dang near 70 points. Actually, more than 70 points there in their win over Incarnate Word, a program that I heard about for the first time with Cam Ward when he was coming to the draft. This women's basketball team, once again, expected to compete with the South Carolinas and everybody else going into the year. What does this 2025-26 team look like going into the season?
Man, they look good, especially, we could talk about Madison Booker and Rory Harmon. We know what they've been the last couple of years with that young lady right there, Aaliyah Crump. I got to do a story with her because she gave back to one of the local schools, giving it back to a girls basketball team, giving them shoes and clothes and everything like that she has from her one of her sponsorships. She's the real deal, and I think the thing is you're going to see this season is that the team's going to shoot more 3-pointers. And we asked Vic Schaefer about this before the season started because I saw him in a couple of exhibition games. I'm like, Coach, last year your team didn't take too many 3-point shots, and that was by design. Like, well, it doesn't matter if you can have the shot all you want, but can you make it?
Right.
And they can make it.
Yeah.
Aaliyah Crump specifically can make that shot. Jordan Lee, the sophomore from the West Coast out in California, she can make that shot. And we've seen her, doing a lot more ball handling this year than she did her freshman season. That's because she understands the Vic Schaefer system. It is defensive-minded and offense comes second. And because she is so great on defense, because she has their own ball skill set, you don't have to play Rory Harmon the entire game. You can get the ball in the hands of Jordan Lee and Madison Booker, and then you talk about Rory Harmon. She has found her shot this season. She said it. I'm taking more shots. I feel more comfortable. She got that knee brace off. I know how much she hated that. So the doctors cleared her to take it off, and she's feeling like herself. I think the one thing that's still in question is going to be the post game. You no longer have Taylor Jones, Kyla Oldacre. She can be a one-woman wrecking crew. Brea Cunningham, the transfer, you got to at some point see how she does against some of the big defenders in the SEC, as you mentioned already. You got to go against the South Carolinas and the LSU's. And she's a little undersized, but they don't always matter. Size does not always matter. Sometimes you can just have that presence in the paint, and if you got good skill set, it won't really make a difference, especially if you can force those bigs to come out and you have the shot making capabilities that Brea Cunningham has, and then you can always dish it out to young ladies like Aaliyah Crump from Minnesota and Jordan Lee and Madison Booker, who's a baseline threat no matter what piece of hardwood she's playing on. So.
Absolutely. And they're back at the Moody Center tonight looking to go 2-0 as the 24th ranked team in the country comes to town in the Richmond Spiders. LeVon, thank you so much for your time and all your insights. I know you're just getting your work week started, but I hope it's a good one and a blessed one, my man.
I appreciate you guys, man. Y'all take it easy. Enjoy the weekend.